There needs to be huge reforms in education. And reforms need not be in only what happens in school. It's not for humans. The current education system is for the industries that they are supposed to fit into. Democracy is all about numbers and people. If a blind leads a blind, both will fall into the ditch. When enough people question the system, politicians are compelled to find solutions. An African proverb says it takes a whole village to grow a child. If things were good, then nobody should want to end their lives. The best part of my education was that I was never sent to school till 9 years of age. We say that British made us into clerks. They made even their own citizens into gear, cogs and wheels in their industry. System is not more important than the person.
I, sir, can relate to this so much because I was a failure till 7th grade.
You can't do more harm than making a child believe that he or she is not good.
So how can we pick things from your system and learn from you and take this to cities?
Question the system and they find answers.
Jule, sir.
Jule.
It is a pleasure meeting you. You've been an inspiration and I want to know things from you about the education system which you have focused and you have dedicated your life into. I want to know, my question is around emotional intelligence, because as per my personal observation and my motto and my mission in life is to highlight and polish this part of life, learning of life, which is emotional intelligence, because that is something which makes you a holistic person, that makes you a good leader in life, and I believe good leaders are more important than more IQ based managers in life. So I want to know your point of view on emotional intelligence.
Well, generally the kind of lives people live in industrial cities and what they learn in industrial schools is very fragmented, unholistic, opposite of holistic.
Yes.
Children grow up in nuclear families with parents not having time, taking turns, hiring au pairs and so on. That's not when a child grows holistically. At school, they only focus on like a narrow segment of various intelligences. There are multiple intelligences. We just look at things that would be useful in a factory or an industry,
industrial era,
commercial setup. So that's a very corrupted form of upbringing.
Yes.
That's very, very, vested interest. You are looking at what will be useful for your industry, your commerce, not for the person or their well-being or their lives. So it's a very fragmented, narrow slice of intelligences that we emphasize, like mathematical or literary at the most, some analytical in good schools.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, the physical, the spatial, the aesthetic, emotional, all these are left behind. So it's very challenging, especially in urban areas where it's all industrial living. Very difficult. And I believe that best holistic upbringing comes when children live in communities where you have extended families, supportive neighbors, elderly, younger. That's when you develop compassion, you develop patience, you develop empathy and so on. But in our schools, empathy has no place, Competition has place rather than cooperation.
There's a zoom in on competition.
Yes, exactly. So you are trained to leave others behind, grow alone and grow fast. And these become great for the growth of the industry they may go in and work. But it becomes a mess. It makes a mess of the families, of the communities, of the society where they live. So it's a very lopsided view, I feel, and therefore there needs to be reforms. There needs to be huge reforms in education. And reforms need not be in only what happens in school. We often think, okay, teachers have to be trained and classrooms bettered or so on. I think best of early education, there's so much in the name of early childhood education. That's when the mind and the emotions are
developing.
Formed. That 0 to 5, 6
Yes,
years
sir,
of
yes, sir,
age
yes,
is
sir.
very important. But now we only can think of like nurseries and creches and industrial early childhood centers.
Yes.
The best early childhood center is in the lap of your grandparents,
Yes.
you know, your aunts and uncles. An African proverb says it takes a whole village
Yeah.
to grow a child, to raise a child.
Yes, sir.
Now if you leave it to a mother and father alone, a nuclear family,
Yeah.
it cannot be complete. You can make them into a kind of cog in the big system, big industrial system,
Yes,
and make profit and see growth of the country, but emotionally they're a mess.
So we have just
And that
focusing
then-
on the financial part.
That then shows in how societies are breaking apart. People can't tolerate each other. They get
Yes.
depressed. They turn to substances and suicides and all such things.
Yes.
If things were good, then nobody should want to end their lives. So
Absolutely,
there is
sir.
something wrong. Whereas if you look at a tribal society in the mountains of Ladakh,
Yes.
you may not see all that you call development and, you know, top ranking maths marks and all
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but they're not they're looking at life smilingly, not, you know, quit and commit suicide and so on.
Yes.
So that state of happiness in the mind is more an indicator of success of your society.
Yes, sir.
So with all the GDP, if people are turning to suicide and substance abuse, it's a
There is not
failure.
growth. Yes, sir.
With all the zero GDP growth, if people are happy, that's perhaps a better thing that they
Yes,
want.
sir.
So therefore, what I was saying was that definitely schools should improve, curriculum should improve, teachers should be better, but we should integrate families and communities into education.
Yes.
The best part of my education was that I was never sent to school till 9 years of age.
Wow.
Yeah, so being out of school was the best part
thing.
for my childhood, because I could roam around in the village with elders, with animals, on the farms, on the apricot trees, climbing up, climbing down. That makes you very strong and gives you a good foundation.
Yes,
So
I think so, what you just said means that you were learning more practically rather than the industrial education system, which is more performance oriented, but you had more practical knowledge in life while you were on the ground.
That and a holistic holding a child that the community gives.
Yes.
My grandmother telling me stories were much more powerful than memorizing Jack and Jill and all that. Then you become some kind of robot that can do what it is assigned, but doesn't have the feeling for others, nor can relate, and has emotional problems later in life. So we have to have a relook at education, not just in India, throughout the world.
Yes, sir.
We have made it into some kind of training for our industry.
Yes, sir.
Whereas it should be for the child's life rather than what you wanted. You know, it's like a commercial training to fit into your system. But for the child, for the person that the child will become, it may take different things, like emotional intelligence, like other forms of intelligence, which are completely
Yes.
neglected in this system. So
I think it's a big manipulation towards the industrial system, that's where you are just picked and chosen based on to improve that system.
it's not for humans. The current
yeah.
education system
It's not
is for the industries that
Yes.
they are supposed to fit into.
Absolutely.
It's not at all meant for the people. We say that British made us into clerks, okay? But British didn't only make Indians into clerks, they made even their own citizens into gear, cogs and wheels in their
Yes.
industry.
Yeah.
You have to educate to become human beings who can also do things for the system.
Yes, sir.
System is not more important than the person.
Yes, sir. The person should be more important and you should be focusing on their development. So one more thing, my last question here is about your school, the alternate school where you take people who have failed. Tell me about those students and the difference in the emotional intelligence or the IQ. What is your observation so far?
First of all, the failure that we talk about, we don't recognize that failure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah? In a system that is so narrow-minded,
Yes,
so lopsided, in a bad system, if you do badly, I say it is good.
Yes, sir.
You know,
True.
minus
Absolutely
minus
true.
plus, they say in
Absolutely
mathematics.
true,
No?
sir.
If you do badly in a good system, then you have a problem.
Then
But
it
if
has
you
a-
badly in a bad system, then maybe you're too good.
Yes.
So first of all, that failure is not
Yes,
failure.
true,
It's
true,
failure in
In a
one
bad
or
system.
two things that they lopsidedly test you in. You may have so many good things
Yes,
in 8 out of 10, and just because you don't happen to have those two which they test you on,
Yes.
you can't be called a failure when you do very well in, say, 8 out of 10.
Yes.
And just because they are all about mathematics and science and language, you may not have, but you
Yes.
may have so much, and you may develop those if you are given that safe,
Confidence.
safe space and confidence rebuilt. So that's why we don't consider it a failure. We open it to all, and especially to those who are rejected by that system, and give them the right environment, the support, the love, and the relaxed pace to slowly learn and become confident, and then they start flying, even in those fields which they were rated failure.
Yes.
So that's when we see that those who were branded as failure and therefore rejected often become leaders when they go
Yes.
back into society. They become people who others come to for solace and
Yes,
support.
yes, sir.
And it's been happening regularly.
I, sir, can relate to this so much because I was a failure till 7th grade, and there were some teachers who helped me come out of it, and I completely relate to what you just said, that foundational confidence is something that can turn around your life. Because when I got confidence that I can do things, because till 7th grade I was my self-esteem went very, very down. I was like, the world has rejected me, what will I do? I'll just exit it. So the thing is, when I got this confidence, I have achieved amazing things in life. Because that confidence that these few people gave me, my mother, these few mentors who were believing in me, I think that is where life changes.
So that's the other problem. Current schools harp on just few so-called good ones and neglect
Yes.
the rest and make them feel broken. You can't
Yes.
do more harm than making a child believe that he or she is not good.
Yes, sir.
And that's what our schools
Based on
do.
marks,
Yeah,
ranking,
yes,
the
yeah.
badges you get.
Yes,
It is a
yes.
it is a way to make others feel bad. They don't. Why kids have sleep issues these days? It was never a problem earlier. People in tribal areas don't have sleep issues. After sunset, they sleep nicely.
Each one should be made to feel good about what they are good at, and then they'll learn the others also. But if you just rate in few and then tell them you're no good, then they'll not be good in even the things that they are good in. You know? Confidence is
the key.
huge. Yes.
So how can we, or at least some contribution? I just want to know how can we pick things from your system and learn from you and take this to cities? Is there is it happening, or can I be a part of it? Something I want to know, because it is my life's mission, and I won't be happier than anything better than this for me in life.
Best thing is to take the spirit of questioning the status quo, that we don't silently accept whatever is happening just because it has come from the board of so and so or this or that. Doesn't mean that it's the best thing for human beings. So to question the system and then find answers. We are trying to find answers in our context. You can do the same in your context.
Yes,
and question and find solutions. When enough people question the system in a democracy, then politicians are compelled to find solutions.
Yes.
Democracy is all about numbers and people. So we need to, one thing, educate people to question why is it happening this way. Then there'll be prime ministers and ministers paying attention and changing policies and so on. If not, they'll look at other things that people are concerned about. If people are only about rice and onions and prices of those, and not about education and not about what happens to children in schools, they'll let this be.
We'll anyways fail.
So that's why I'm saying questioning and about change, the need for change, educating people, maybe through what you're doing, because people have been made to believe that the system they have is the system and anything else is wrong.
Yes,
so then they don't question. Then even if a school does something good, it's the parents who criticize them,
why
you make our children sing and play and dance.
We want marks.
Yeah, we want marks. So they need to be changed and educated
You
first.
need to question the paradigm, the thing that is there. You need to question that. And I think, sir, as a kid, we all are born with questions.
Exactly.
We slowly kill questioning as we grow up because we suppress them.
In India, we have the added challenge of always believing West is best and just blindly copying them.
Absolutely.
So West may have made huge, big mistakes. We are just copying them. So question those and find your own solutions that the West may copy one day. Because they have gone astray. If a blind leads a blind, both will fall into the ditch, they say. So you act as one with eyes. If they have gone wrong, then you question and you find the right path. I think there is more to be found in India about how human beings grow in communities and with the emotional well-being than to be found in New York or London.
True.
And in India, more could be found in mountains of Ladakh and forests of Chhattisgarh than in Delhi and Mumbai, which are just copies of London and New York.
And sir, thank you, sir. Julai, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.